Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Exchange. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how many people we have tonight. So it's going to be a wide open show. We're going to be talking food. We're going to be talking Japanese bullet trains. And if you can only figure out what that is, stay tuned. This is going to be one of the most lively gunslinger episodes I've ever seen. I see Candy Emily turning her head. Oh, no. What is hubby got up his bag of tricks? Plenty. Of course, when you sleep until like 5 o'clock today after a very intense test that I had to let it out a little bit. Also joining us on this crazy wild episode is Jacob Christner and Chris Hudson.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sydney Sweeney's the perfect score. Yay.
There you go. Look at this guy. Beautiful. And Cyberowski's in the house. He asked me in a private chat, what did I have for dinner? Well, actually, I had checkers today, but that wasn't until later, Cyberowski.
I had chess.
You what?
I had chess. No.
Oh, did you?
Okay, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. How do you keep your hair so perfect?
I wake up like this.
That's funny, actually. I'll tell you what, since we're really in a food moment today, what does everybody think about the Cracker Barrel controversy? I'm going to lead off with Jacob. I mean, you really had some pretty outspoken comments about this. With the Cracker Barrel.
I don't have a lot to say anymore because they did it. They brought it back, but this was what I was saying about it. And I was saying a bunch about this. You guys saw me. It's going to go away anyway. It's going to go down. It's for old people. It really is. It is for old people going on their trips to go see their grandkids. Oh, I remember those days. I remember having that showed up. I remember that show. It was 1927. Oh, yeah, wonderful. It's for them. Your nice little ridiculous your nice little we're gonna bring in we don't want to offend anyone. We got to take the old man that shoots at people. We got to take him off the sign. No, you don't do that. It's like those people are still alive, and it's like, and guess what? When Uncle Herschel is gone, all those people are gone. The restaurant's gonna die. So let it go with some dignity.
Yeah, I'd say the first time I ever had Cracker Barrel was actually out in North Carolina.
Did you?
I know, dude. I'm this way every week.
I was gonna say this is how he always is. So
yeah,
I used to get these coupons from the ball club I worked with, and used to end up going there. I tell you, I love their fried apples, and their food was just great. In fact, I have one right down the road from me. Is really good. So
those fried apples these days are probably like the same apples from the McDonald's. At this point in time, you just put it in the refrigerator in the microwave.
Wait a minute. Wait. Don't ruin my fried apples. I love my fried apples from Cracker Barrel. Come on, Chris. I give you a lot of slack, but don't ruin my. Wait. Come on. Cut me some slack. I've only been up about 3 or 4 hours, okay? But
and you'll be going back to bed soon.
Yeah, I will. I really will. I think about it. It won't be long before I wind down and get up at 3 or 4 or 5 in the morning and do my other work in the middle of the night. But don't ruin my.
Hey, Josh, wait. I don't smoke. I don't drink. This is me.
Okay, there you go, Joshua. And you guys probably popped in on the right show because we're all in a jovial mood since there's only 4 of us, anyways. But what the reality is don't mess around with my fried apples. I was even talking to Candy tonight and thinking, I wonder if she get one of those rocking chairs they have around the house because I don't go anywhere anyways. Where are we gonna put it? Oh, we'll find a place to put it. I want me a Cracker Barrel rocking chair, man. I really do, but don't.
I'll get you the same rocking chair as the George House's daughter. What she had to do in her last years. Watch really bad football while she's doing this.
You got to get the big chessboard, the checkerboard too, to go along with it.
And Matlock. Don't forget Matlock.
Matlock. Oh, God.
Yeah, I don't know if they have cornhole over there. But yeah, I got to give you that rocking chair. But they have chicken and dumplings or Thanksgiving stuff. But I get it. How do you take it, the old guy off at the Cracker Barrel? That is stupid. That's why they lost so much money. I mean, they caved in the public pressure. Then you get the president even talking about. Then again, he'll talk about anything. It doesn't make any difference.
He knows that's his voter base.
Exactly.
It's here. This is the thing about this, and I'm just being honest. This isn't a hate or a like on Trump. This is just what the truth is. His voter bait. He came around at the perfect time. He is the king of timing. Always has been. We have seen him on the news for 40 some odd years. He's the king of timing. He knows that the Uncle Herschel people are still alive. He wouldn't have had a chance at president without him. He knows it. He's going to go for it.
And he did. And yeah, Joshua, you're right. It was all a marketing tactic, and it worked.
Yeah.
No question about it. Everybody, now we're getting rid of this we're bringing on this new contemporary logo, right? Nobody likes it. And then they come out, wow, we got to listen to our customers. Duh.
Well, it kind of looked like something you would get online, for the free trial.
Right.
You get one of those free trial things. It's like, ooh, that looks really good. It's the opening of our new podcast. We're gonna try this one. We'll get a new one later.
Yeah. I think the whole thing was hilarious. I think it really was. I still like the restaurant. I really
people were getting crazy over nothing.
The CEO. and look at the CEO. She'd be a great date.
Yeah, for sure.
She'd be a great date. She asked you if you're BLM or not.
So, Candy, you're taking it all in. What do you think about this crazy Cracker Barrel thing that we're talking about?
Obviously, it was a great marketing play because we're talking about it. And it's,
right.
Their stock was going down. Now it's going back up. We're all talking about it. I mean, even the president, that was a great marketing ploy. I mean, they hired a new CEO, 2 years ago? And let's face it, now we're talking about Cracker Barrels. And let's be honest, most restaurants are struggling because the price of everything has gone up so much that a lot of people that have extra income aren't necessarily going out to these kind of restaurants. Let's face it. And then there's people that are struggling, and we know that those aren't the ones that are going to Cracker Barrel right now. So really the draw and the people that were going there, they're not going there as much. So whatever they can do to drum up people talking about it, marketing, they've got to do whatever they can. And hey, it's working. We're even talking.
Well, here's the thing, Candy, and you're right on that. But you want to know who can afford going out to eat and go do it? Uncle Herschel. Just being very honest, the guy's real name is Herschel, probably. And it's like, and he's got his wife Helen with him, and he's got his wife Helen with him, and they're like, oh, let's go to Marion, Illinois. I got this perfect one over here. And it's like, yeah, what do you think, Mildred or Helen or whatever her name is? And it's like, those are the ones going, and those are the only ones that can't afford to eat.
Can any of you tell me how many states have Cracker Barrels and how many Cracker Barrels there are in the United States?
650 for the amount. I would guess that there's probably probably about 8 states.
They're in 44 states.
Wow.
44 states, really?
Yes.
So they're like a Chick-fil-A. They're like Uncle Herschel Chick-fil-A.
Mm-hmm.
No kidding.
It's not on Long Island. I can tell you that.
Yeah, no.
I don't know Long Island know what to do with those damn things. They probably break the rocking chairs with the 2-year-olds.
Probably. I don't know.
Yeah, not if you have to go an hour away to get yours. You're better off with Coney Island than your neck of the woods.
Exactly. I'm closer to Coney Island than the nearest Cracker Barrel. So
dude, you're a Nathan's guy.
Yeah, I would go there first before I go there. Absolutely.
Oh, no kidding. Consider where you're located.
Right.
Hey, listen, I should be laughing at you because back home in Detroit, we got a lot of Coney Islands, and they're big out there. I tell you one thing, every time I go back home to Detroit, gotta have those Coney Islands. Joshua Door. Here, I'll go back to his other comment, the latest one. Nobody gave a about Cracker Barrel anymore until now. You're probably right. A lot of people, with this whole controversy, probably caught some people's attention. And sure it did, Josh. I'm talking about it tonight.
Yeah.
There you go.
He's right. He's right with that. But again, it was the old people, and they still cared. But the biggest thing about it is it was even that sign and the cafeteria look they had in there, and it's so sanitizing. That wasn't going to bring one new woke person in. What they're trying to do. It wasn't going to bring them in there whatsoever. They're going to Nathan's. So it's like they're going to go to wherever. They're going to make their own food. They're not going to Cracker Barrel, no matter what you do with it. So you might as well keep it the way it is.
I think one of the smartest things Cracker Barrel did was they put themselves next to these hotels, and they're not. Oh, yeah. And then so if you're, and it might be the only restaurant around. So if you all of a sudden you wake up and I got to have breakfast, and let's face it, Some of these hotels are doing their continental breakfast, which is just donuts. Who's going to do donuts and coffee?
Right.
It's cinnamon rolls, and it's I have a package they put them out. No, but I think the rocking chairs are there because the old men are going. I gotta sit down.
Well, funny you say that. A lot of the whole restaurants are near extended stays, right, Candy?
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. No, that's smart. Yeah, that's pretty
Is there
cool to
anyone in
start.
Alaska by any chance? Do you think?
Well, that's not one of the ones that's on. Let's see. There are in Alaska because they have a list of ones that there isn't. Oh no, there isn't Alaska. There's not
probably floating.
Alaska, Hawaii, Vermont, District of Columbia, Wyoming, Washington, Oregon, Maine, and the U.S. Virgin Islands are the ones that don't have.
So Hawaii does or does not have one?
Does not.
Hawaii does not.
Could you imagine a Hawaiian Cracker Barrel with those pineapples? Would look
I don't know. I don't know if that would work there.
Yeah, it makes you wonder a little bit. Well, I could talk about Cracker Barrel all night, but we have a few other things we'll get to.
Those would be fried pineapples. Those would be fried pineapples.
Yeah, that's funny. Don't get me started because she may have to give me some pineapples before it's over if you keep the pineapple trip going. All right, let's go to baseball. I'm just going to put this out there, but it's a mind-boggling stat that I've never seen before. Get this. Earlier in the year, the Toronto Blue Jays, after 81 games, for the third time in 4 years, were 44 wins and 37 losses. Can you believe that? After 81 games, that has happened in 2022, 23, and 25. So get this, 44 and 37, 3 out of 4 years. Is that crazy or what? Candy, what do you think of that?
Shows that they're moving in the right direction, I guess. And, that is very unusual that you'd have the same record after 81 games, 3 of the last 4 years.
Well, it sounds very Aaron Boone.
44 and 37. That's the thing.
They basically had the same team the last few years. Like they felt like around the 500 team, right? This year a little bit better, but the last few years that's what that team felt like. Like not a horrible team, but not a great team either. So it kind of makes sense, to be right around 500 with that team.
Again, very Aaron Boone. So it's like Aaron Boone is.
Aaron Boone gets no love. Come on.
No.
He's just a puppet. Trust me. That's not him.
I know.
That's not him managing.
Don't get him going with the Yankees. I actually have a Yankees topic on here for him. But the whole reason why I brought it up was 44 and 37 after 81 games, 3 of the last 4 years.
Well, you know what that says to me though is like it's pretty good, but not so good. It's like it says a team is supposed to improve itself each and every year. It's saying that they're kind of staying stagnant.
But I'll tell you one thing, and I just wanted to bring this up because I think it was pretty cool. It's just pretty hard to imagine the same record 3 out of 4 years. It's no different than going bowling and getting the same score 3 consecutive games.
If I got that, it would be 20, 20, and 20.
Well, many years ago, I think many years ago, I got a triple kit at 76, 76, and 76. So that was when I was a kid. That shows you what my bowling skills were like. Anyways, Toronto Blue Jays 44-37. Then right now they currently reside in first place in the American League East. And for those of you that don't know by now, I had a one-on-one interview with Don Mattingly on Saturday, and it's on the South Florida Tribune YouTube channel. Thanks, Chris.
Did he teach you how to throw left-handed from third base?
No, he
Donnie could do
no. But Jacob, you got to listen to the interview, brother. I know you can handle it. It's only 9 minutes this time, not 9 million minutes.
No. It's all good. I was doing it as a compliment. I mean, Mattingly could do it all. If you're playing third base left-handed and throwing them out, you're ridiculous.
Yeah, right now with my shoulders, I don't know how my good shoulders are good right and left-handed, so I wouldn't worry about throwing left-handed.
Yeah, so I only got one good shoulder now. So,
what happened to your other one?
That's for another podcast.
All right. Well, you know what?
That's why you don't work out.
If we run out of topics tonight, we could have a little. I'll give you a little history about me, but I don't know if you really want to hear that.
You're not going to run out of topics tonight. That's for sure.
Good.
I'll run out of time before I run out of topics.
Good.
But anyways, I promised the Yankees topic because I have Chris on, so I'll go out there and go back in time. Alfonso Soriano hits a home run. Justin Verlander against the Tigers that put him in the 2000 hit club. That was a little ways back. But I'll tell you one thing. I've always liked Alfonso Soriano a lot. Here's a guy that never got the publicity that he should have gotten, but a pretty solid payer. What are your thoughts about Alfonso Soriano, Chris?
I loved him as a ball player. He came up with us, and he was unfortunately the guy that we had to trade to get A-Rod, right? Back in 03, right? 04, right? But yeah, great ball player, second baseman. Then he had to go out and play the outfield. But one of those guys, the speed, the power. I think, like he said, he doesn't get enough credit. I mean, he was a 30-30 guy. Actually, did he go for? Oh no, he just missed 44. Oh no, he did do 40-40 1 year. With his 1 year with Washington, he went 40-40. So he was one of those underrated players that, during the end of the steroid era, kind of, and he goes kind of under the radar, but he put up some really good, solid career numbers, right? 412 career home runs, 1,159 RBIs. He batted 270. He had 289 stolen bases. So he had a really nice career. How many All-Stars? 7-time All-Star. Yeah. All-Star MVP. So he had a nice, he's got a nice little resume. Probably not Hall of Famer, but definitely really good player. And I, always enjoyed watching him play.
I did too. Go ahead, Jacob.
Yeah, he was a Cub. Oh,
I got one coming up after this, so don't worry about it.
Oh,
we connect everybody here.
He had the stupidest strikeouts all the time. Yeah, he could when he could hit. But he had the stupidest strikeouts. Oh, he was the Javi Baez of his day. Oh my God, he'd swing. I mean, it'd be 9 feet over his head, and he'd swing at it. Oh my God. No, but he was. I with his numbers, I call him the James Harden of baseball. It's like, he's got all the good numbers. He's got all the good numbers, but he'll absolutely barf when it comes to the big moments. But just what he's. But
wait, 2001 World Series. He would have won the World Series for the Yankees in Game 7, right? If Rivera didn't blow the game in the.
Okay, you have a good point on that. Harden will never get that close. But still, I'm saying
Just saying.
But I've been saying that stuff for 2 or 3 years with Harden, or no, it's 15 years with Harden now. But still, the big thing about it is I hate strikeouts, multiple ones with an absolute passion. I think it's very undisciplined. It's very, very undisciplined. It's like, but it's like, when he could hit, he could really hit. Okay, I got another comparison. Jay Cutler. Cutler. He could really, Jay Cutler could really throw when we had his on times. Soriano could really rake, but when they were bad, they were really bad. And they came at the worst possible times.
Jay Cutler would be an interesting topic.
Good God.
Yeah, you ought to get him going. Hey, let me tell you one thing, though, tonight, Chris. I got a lot of Chicago stuff lined up for Chris, so don't worry.
Hopefully no Jay Cutler.
Go ahead. The only guy I hate worse than Jay Cutler is Caleb Williams.
Oh, you got to give the kid a break. Come on, give him at least another year with.
No,
not with Ben Johnson's offense.
I don't like makeup on the ball.
Oh.
No, thank you. I don't like Maybelline. I don't like a Maybelline spokesman for my quarterback.
That's funny. All right, Candy, you can close out this topic. All of a sudden, we have a show that's turning into a comedy show between Chris and Jacob. That's why I'm glad I only have 4 people on to watch these two guys tonight. It's really fun to watch.
So Soriano is one of only 58 major league players to hit 400 or more career home runs and was 7th among active players in home runs at the time of his retirement. He also, in 2002, Soriano became the second Yankee in franchise history to record 30 home runs and 30 stolen bases in the same season. The first was Barry Bonds in 75. He then repeated the feat in 2000.
Barry Bonds.
Bobby.
Bonds. Sorry, Bobby Bonds.
Same guy.
My mistake.
Barry is that old, don't you think?
Also in 2002, he led the American League with 696 at-bats, 209 hits, 92 extra base hits, 41 stolen bases, 128 runs, and set a Yankees team record for most at-bats. And here's probably a stat he's not happy about, and the most strikeouts, 157 in a season.
And third in the MVP.
So there you have it.
All
right, so now let's go.
Strikeout.
Let's go on to our Chicago topic, compare and contrast.
Oh boy, here we go.
Well, I told you, Jacob, I always try to find one or two Chicago things on here for my Illinois guy.
I'm sure you do.
Oh yeah, no, I always do. I always have you in mind, Christopher. Let me tell you. Do I ever? More Mr. Pundit here. But anyway, Kerry Wood picks up his 1,000th career strikeout, the youngest pitcher to reach 1,000 punch-outs, and he did doing so in 134 games. He broke Roger Clemens' mark. He's just on one of those unfortunate stories of what could have been. But this guy here, Kerry Wood, was on an unbelievable trajectory. What do you remember most about Kerry Wood?
I remember when he was 20. And that's 20 strikeout. Here's the deal. That should have been a no-hitter.
Yeah.
Perfect game. He didn't have a walk. That should have been a perfect game. It would have been the greatest one of all time. It's like they can't. No, wait a minute. That was an error. That wouldn't have been a perfect game. But never mind. You know what I'm saying? But no, it would have been the greatest no-hitter of all time. Because I mean, they had an error and he had that whatsoever, but they gave him a hit, and that was an unbelievable game. And here's what's crazy about it. Next two games, he had 13 strikeouts each, so he had 46 strikeouts in 3 games. So the thing about him though is that they blame the ding dongs want to blame Dusty Baker for this. You have to realize that he pitched both ends of double headers in high school. Everybody in around that, whether college or in high school or anything like that, whatever he was doing, wore his arm out. Because he had such an arm, he had such stuff, and I hate that people call 100 some odd innings too much work now. But his issue was the reason.
Yeah,
just being honest.
Yeah, he was one of the best young pitchers we've seen right over the last 20 years, without a doubt. I mean, he's basically even probably better than what we've seen out of Paul Skeens early on here. But I remember, and I actually watched that 20 strikeout because I had satellite TV at the time, and it was on WGN that day, so I did watch it. That was incredibly impressive, and he also did it against the Astros, who had a pretty good lineup, right? They still had Bagwell.
Oh my God, they were first place, and he absolutely annihilated them.
Yeah,
it was.
That's even more impressive.
Well, the thing about it. The thing about it is, it's like he struck. I mean, Caminetti struck out. I mean, was 3 straight. I mean, these are power hitters. Caminetti. Then you had Derek Bell. You had, all these types of guys. But the big thing with Kerry. Big thing with Kerry by itself, he had the 1,000 quicker than anybody, and then it was like, here's the deal. Larry Bird had 17,000 points in the 80s.
Right.
He got 3 more years in the 90s. He had 3,000. He had 4,000 total. After that, those types because of his injuries. You just never know.
Yep.
Because
it ends like that.
Yeah, it can end like that, and it's like you get to that thing. It's like literally Larry Bird was the third to highest scorer of the 80s. Alex English and I forget the other, but it's like it's all that stuff, and then he had to end up with 21,000.
Yeah,
and if he would have had those. This is the thing I figured out from his amount. If he would have been healthy all 3 of those years that he was there, he would have had 26,000 points. That's half a check.
Mm-hmm.
So that just tells you what those injuries will do to you.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the whole thing when you put it in perspective, though, and the reason why I brought this thing up at 1,000 career strikeouts and being the youngest one, then you put him in the same sentence as Roger Clemens is too surreal. That's why
Skeens might get there.
All right,
Might,
go ahead.
but that's the thing, right? With Skeens, you're almost waiting for
Yeah, the injury.
the Tommy John to come, right? Or the
Yep.
shoulder.
Oh,
or
come
something.
on, Chris. Don't
I'm hoping
Chris
not.
again.
I'm hoping not. I hope the kid.
Really?
I just hope him. I hope Scooble stays, another 20 years. I want to see
Well,
you guys.
the problem is they go 5 2/3 and out.
Right,
Well, that's it too.
That they won't let him pitch through.
right.
Well, good. That's a good segue to let you know that on Saturday I'll have a talking baseball. Returns with myself, Mickey Callaway, and former manager Jim Riggleman will be on as well.
Oh,
Hope you can join
Riggleman.
us.
Speaking of
Yeah.
Cubs,
Yeah, there you go. 9:00 p.m. Eastern time, and of course on Friday night, Mickey and I will join Chris and Rob on their show as we get ready to. They'll give us an opportunity to inform fans of our show as well. So
yes.
enjoy going on with Chris and Rob. Candy, some thoughts on Kerry Wood before we move on? We have a lot more to get to.
So Kerry Wood went on to record over 200 strikeouts in 4 of his first 5 seasons, with a high of 266 in 2003. He actually holds several MLB strikeout records, but he struggled, like we said, with injuries. He was placed during his career. He was placed on this disabled list 14 times in 14 major league seasons, which included missing the entire 99 season due to Tommy John surgery.
Wow.
This was the thing. Everybody blamed Dusty because they're idiots. But he had the Tommy John in before that part. And they more and in truth, that's just morons wanting to blame the manager. It's like the Cubs, when they won it in 03, they needed every ounce of Pryor and Wood, every inch of them. They don't win if they take them out early or try to rest them like idiot, moron, dumbass fans do say. You know what I mean? It's like they don't get that. It's like they needed them every ounce of it.
Well, let me just say this. When we put the Kerry Wood story in perspective with Candy and those injuries, I go back in a time where Marcus Bird Federer had a whale of a career, and that was cut short prematurely, but it was exciting to watch when he was out there. I know we could talk about what would have been with Kerry Wood, but we're going to talk about what is right now, about March Madness legend Sister Jean, who turned 106. Our source was by Megan Price from the Sip-Off. So that's where I got this information. But obviously, she was a good luck charm for Loyola of Chicago. What are your thoughts about Sister Jean turning the big 106, Jacob?
Well, when she dies, they're not going to make it anymore because they have no reason. No, no. That's awesome. And personally, my personal thing about being over 100 is I look to get to 100 and then 6 more. And if I'm doing this 6 years, I'm looking at that as bonus years. Yeah. So it's like my main thing is I got to make sure that I'm healthy enough and I'm walking still. I'm not in a wheelchair.
Yeah, this is what I saw is an incredible story that the woman turned 106. My goal is 65, and I'm battling it hard at 62. So, Sister Jean, keep it up. Everybody, we know you're a March Madness legend, and when you're there, I think it's a whole different world. When Loyola Chicago, that was unbelievable. Anybody have any quick thoughts? Even though I know this is up Jacob's alley.
One of the things she said that to see her secrets to living a long life is loving others and God, taking care of your mind and body, and interacting with young people.
Well, and that's true. That is completely true. It's like I always tell this to people on this, that it is about age. My dad passed at 82, but he was 50 when I was born. And my parents were 18 years apart. By the time he had his first family, he had a second one. He had a wife that was 18 years younger and 2 kids in their teens in his 60s. And the big thing about it is that he still was running his business, and it was construction. And the thing, you say this all the time, he didn't look it. He had his gray hair, but he didn't look it. He had energy. He had all that kind of stuff. And it's like, when it comes to older age, you got to keep up your energy, and you got to be around youth. And if you got a kid that's 10 years old and you're going to the school things, all of those parents are 32 years old. You understand? Or 35. So it will keep you young. You have to keep your youth and keep your mind.
I agree.
Hey, but-
Listen, my dad is he's going to be 85 next month, and he's the youngest, probably 85, well, one of the youngest 85s that are out there. He's so active. He's actually in Disney World right now. So that just shows you how youthful he is, right? He actually called me today and he goes, I don't know if I can go on some of these rides anymore. They're a little too much for me. But I said, yeah.
No. You got to say to him, no, Dad, you're young. You got this.
I said, don't worry about it. I said, just you'll be fine. And he's great, and that's the thing. Like, it's just a number. You gotta stay active. That's the biggest thing. You got to stay active. Keep your mind going as much as possible, and hope, and cross your fingers. That's the other thing. You
100. 106.
106 is
Sister Jean.
I want to make 100, and everything else is bonus. That's because I love life. I love, even with the chaos we see right now, it's leading to something that is a new world, and it's kind of fun, to be honest.
Okay.
I don't know if it's fun, but yeah.
I'm saying it's fun to see where the future is going, because it's a world that we're not going to recognize. And I'm not saying it's not fun to see the chaos. I'm saying it's fun to think of what can come from all this. And I want to be able to say what I can. It's like I would hate to miss it.
What do you think, Candy?
My grandma lived to the age of 96. She managed a 110-acre crop farm up in Wisconsin all by herself. Lived on the farm all by herself. That's what kept her young. Like going up, getting up every morning, going out, doing chores. She had people. Unfortunately, she lived up in the farm, and people would drop off their stray cats and let them. And so she'd feed them. There were times she'd feed anywhere from 10 to 20 cats at a time. She had a garden bigger than Scott and our house. Like, it was a big garden, and we'd go up there and help plant it, but she'd keep it up and harvest it and give it to other people. That's what kept her young, because she kept moving and kept active.
I bet she was tougher than a $3 steak, wasn't she?
Oh yeah.
So, Candy, do you have my make your own kind of music, Candy, in here?
Oh boy.
Oh gosh. I can get it while you keep talking.
You know what? To dedicate this segment to Jacob and Sister Jean, okay. We're
what about
play
Sister Jake? Jake,
Yeah.
mix them up.
Yeah, we got to put it up there because I'm in a very relaxing mood here.
Yeah.
And old Chris here. Yeah,
I love seeing it.
I'm waiting to see Rob tell me what he did when he was out on his cruise. He hasn't delivered yet, but I'm going to get him one of these days. Well, I got to see your version of Make Your Own Kind of Music. But he went to Bermuda, wherever. Don't worry. Coming up after my Make Your Own Kind of Music, we're going to do all the pundits pundit. All right, there you go.
Uh-huh.
We're having.
I'm looking for it.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, hold on here. Let me now share my screen. Oh
boy.
Okay, share screen.
Here we go. We got to have this lighthearted moment here. I'm glad we keep that in there, Candy.
Make your own song. Make your own music.
Yeah, right.
Hey, you can't go out there and use these things the right way. You might as well make a musical instrument out of them. Yes! Because to me, chopsticks, these are metal, so these are good musical instruments. Everybody, I'm at a player on the boat, and right now that I know I'm not going to use them the right way, so we might as well go out there and entertain you, knowing full well that forks are my reality. These little bad boys called chopsticks and metal make great musical instruments. The Motor City Man Mouth is here in the boat, and he is King of Road and is enjoying to put this video up there for you that don't want any musical instrument out of them, because I'll say one last time, make your own kind of music, make your own special song. If you want to see this video, subscribe to the South Florida Tribune YouTube channel. That's right, South Florida Tribune YouTube channel. Then you get to see my wackiness here at one of my specialty diners. Looking forward to the food, but I'm not using these bad boys because their instruments are not food tools for me. See you the next time.
All right. Well, I like to bring that
that
up.
was still more entertaining than Cowboy Carter.
There you go. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. You're going to entertain us with your pundit segment. Go ahead, Jacob. What's on your mind?
I saw this one thing the other day, and it was basically it was a whole little it was a little screen cap. It was probably a couple minutes, and they were talking about what was going on with baseball, and then it reminded me of a thing that I saw last night on the Yankees. The Yankees made a stolen base because the pitcher didn't even pay attention, didn't even have to slide. You know that what I was talking about, Chris.
Yeah, I was watching it,
and it was like, and then they said, how come you don't steal most bases? How come you don't do that? And they said, oh, well, if I get my percentage down and stuff like that, it's hard for me in arbitration. It's hard for me in my contract. That's what I had said this 1,000 times, and you saw what I was saying on Facebook. Agents and managers and the lawyers are running our sports, and they're ruining them. It's like this is the thing. These athletes should be, especially now when they got more power, should be bucking these agents. But they listen. And it does ruin our sport, because our sports, not even our sport, ruins them. Because how many threes do we see that have we don't even set up the threes anymore. Everybody's shooting from 40 feet. Not everybody is Stephen Curry or Caitlin Clark. Yeah, it's like, even if you ever watch Angel Reese try to take a 3-pointer, it's, oh my God. But it's like, but if you've seen those things, but it's the world we're in. It's like, we got to see it because it's going to be on TikTok. And it's that stuff. And then you see that, and then you see football. We have to go get, that's why Anthony Richardson or a Caleb Williams, I'm saying this word picked so darn high, is because everything that you saw was their big flashy highlights. And mind you, Caleb had a lot higher throwing percentage than Anthony Richardson. Don't get that wrong. But everything that you see with them is moving around with like a Benny Hill music in the background while they're going around and avoiding everybody while they're trying to find someone 60 yards open. That was their highlights, but that's what shows and that's what sells. And then it's their combine numbers. We're not looking at wins. We're not looking at what makes a thing efficient, what keeps them around. I just saw Matt Shaw's got barely over 100 innings, and the people in the people online, the people in the newspapers are literally saying, "Oh, is he being overworked? He hasn't pitched over 79 innings since 2019." That was true. I looked it up, and it's like, what are we doing to these pitchers?
What happened?
Right.
What are we doing to everybody? It's like, are the agents literally saying you don't need to win? Or are they just looking out for themselves? And that's what I'm bringing up with something like this, is like, it's going to have to take to a point where you have like the Lamar Jacksons and all that kind of stuff where they represent themselves, because we need to have more of the idea of winning and the thought process. And Chris, what's wrong with your screen?
I don't know. You hear me though, right?
I hear you.
Yeah.
Yes. You
All right.
You look
That's all that matters.
you look like you're laughing and can't get rid of it. But still, that's where that is the thing I'm at. It's like everybody talks about, well, how are we going to get young people to be able to watch? Because they say 53% of young people watch a full game. And I look at it in this boat. No one cares about winning. So if you're not caring about winning, why would the kids? So why don't we start making it a real example and showing this? That's all I'm saying with that.
Okay. Very good. All right. We'll move on to our next topic here. This is a standalone for you anyways, Jacob. And that's this. Race prospect Bob Seymour became MLB's first Bob in 15 years. You imagine all the names, and he's the first Bob in 15 years. There's other stats on him, but this is one that I think is just unbelievable. I can't believe 15 years until we've seen a Bob until Bob Seymour. Candy out.
How do you spell his name backwards?
Yeah, B-O-B, right?
Yeah. I was figuring,
That was good. I like that. Okay. Good way to keep me So, all right, Mister, how do you spell his name backwards? What are your thoughts of that? You got that irony.
Well, I'm waiting for the next Herman. Yeah, in this era.
I'm going to step out. Can you bring me back in, Candy? Is that all right?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
No, where's the
try
next Herbert? Where's the next Phil? Like Phil Rizzuto. Where's the next Yogi? Well, we're just waiting.
Unbelievable. Candy?
I don't know what's going on.
I
My
don't-
camera's on.
I don't know either.
I don't know either. But you can hear me, so that's good. I'll stay. I'll hang out.
Yeah,
Maybe it'll pop
you
back
know what
on.
you look like? You look like one of those. You look like one of those true crime shows. You don't want to be. All you need is your voice.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, all right.
That's it.
Chris, whatever you look like, give me your thoughts about the Bobs.
That's pretty amazing, right? Is Bob not a popular name anymore? Is that the real issue here? That Bob is not, or he's not a baseball player as much? I don't know. How many Bobs are in hockey or
Well, I don't know.
football? Right? That's weird. No, because Bob I thought it was a pretty common name. So for it to not be that popular, it's
How many Bobs are in apples?
exactly. See, that's a good point right there. See?
Yeah.
Nobody bobs for apples anymore.
Yeah,
Right? That's
exactly.
another thing. Come on.
That's funny. I knew you two would find a way to come up with an interesting twist. The fact that this guy's the first one in 15 years to play in the big leagues.
Well, Scott, wait a minute. How likely is it that I, who have an Uncle Bob, marries you, who had an Uncle Bob? Like, that doesn't happen too often either. Like, I
There
mean,
you
it's just
go.
really
It's
weird.
true.
I have a cousin Bob, or
There we
Bobby, we call him.
What about Bob? What about Bob?
What about Bob?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, let's stand up, Bob. What's the most popular serving name that they give out these days? Bobbleheads. How about that?
All right.
Oh, but
take that.
I need
Huh?
those chopsticks. But
Well, look for them. We got them here somewhere.
I know.
I'll do a live demonstration of make your own kind of music here on the air if we have to. I'll do that.
We
I'll
already
have to
saw
find
it.
them.
We already saw it. No.
Yeah, but I'll do it here in the studio. But all right, anyways, as I said before, he became the first MLB Bob in 15 years. That is unbelievable. All right. Well, with that said, we're going to go to our first station break. Candy, go ahead.
South Florida Tribune Publishing Company published a book, Lessons from the Microphone, Tuning into the Enduring Wisdom of Visionary Leaders. It is written by our host, Scott, the Motor City Madmouth Morganroth. Talks about his 40-plus years in the media industry and how it has evolved and changed. Old school media versus new school media. Get your copy today. It's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kindle, Google, and Apple Books. There's also a link on our website, www.southfloridatribune.com, where there is a plethora of great content, especially if you like college sports, because especially here in Florida, we have the Hurricanes, we have the FAU Owls, we have the USF Bulls, we have the Florida Gators, Florida State Seminoles. We've got them all covered. So if you want to know anything about some of those sports, go to our website. If you like to listen to podcasts, you can find us wherever you get your podcasts. If you want to advertise, you can call Scott 954-304-4941. If you want to be a guest on a show or have any ideas for topics, you can always email us at southfloridatribune@gmail.com. And if you see that red subscribe button in that lower right-hand corner and that means you have not yet subscribed to us, I honestly do not know what you're waiting for. Just hit it, like us, share us, and then turn on your notifications so that you're notified anytime we go live. We put up all kinds of great stuff. Scott's interview with Don Mattingly, Scott's singing Make Your Own Kind of Music, some of our vacation videos with some of the tour guides that we were on. Or if you like any of our shows, Monday nights we talk baseball, Tuesday nights is football, Wednesday nights on Sports Exchange, and Thursday nights on Fire Up. You just never know what topics we're going to be talking about because, hey, we hit them all. But then on Sports Wrap, we talk hockey. On Saturday mornings, we're going to have Talking Baseball. Scott, you want to talk about any of your current shows or what you have previewed lineup coming
Yeah,
up?
as a matter of fact, tomorrow night I'm looking forward to this one. Rachel Galvin and I will be on. And Jacob, she's a person I have to get you in contact with. She really
Who?
is. Rachel Galvin, a local actress in Deerfield Beach. In
Nice.
fact, we're going to be on tomorrow. Hey, listen, if you want to come on tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, I can introduce you to her on No Limits.
It just depends on my schedule, but I'll let
Well,
you.
I'm just I'm just telling you, she's a good contact. We're going to talk about all the different celebrities that she met. And I'm going to even talk about the recent passing of Tristan Rogers, who obviously was about Robert Scorpio. One of the nice things about the summer is you could try different things and bring other individuals on that normally wouldn't get the opportunity to come on during their regular season. So Rachel's been a good friend of mine for a long time. She's my editor over at the Deerfield Beach Observer, and I saw her last December, and it's really good that she'll be on. Glad to have Chris back. So we're just previewing a little bit about. So I hope you can join us for No Limits. Rachel Galvin and I will be on tomorrow. It'll be a much bigger change of pace, and she's going to talk about some of the actresses and actors that she's met, and it'll probably bring people down a trip to memory lane. So looking forward to doing that. That'll be around 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. All right. Now that we have the pizza man back in the house, didn't miss a whole lot, but glad we got him live here. Let's proceed with our next topic, and that is my town. Candy, what's going on in your town?
Oh my goodness, what's going on in my town? This past weekend on Sunday, the Milwaukee Brewers did a really, really good tribute to Bob Uecker. I mean, I have to give them kudos because they didn't leave any stone unturned. They went to the Uecker family and they said, hey, we want to do this. We want to do it right. We want your input. And they did. Like Bob Costas came and he did the pregame ceremony. All the guys wore their uniforms, and instead of their name being on the back of the uniform, it said Uke. It is now the Bob Uecker Broadcast Center instead of the press box. They also did one of the San Francisco Giants was in town playing. If any of you know, Willie Adames used to be on the Brewers, a very well-loved Brewer. He came back to town. He actually wore custom cleats that had Bob Uecker on them and were dedicated to Bob Uecker. And it was just Robin Yount was in town. George Brett was in town. Ted Simmons was in town. They all spoke. Just a really nice tribute. Yes, the Brewers did not win the game, but that didn't really matter because it was about being Uke. And talking about him, the Brewers still in first place right now, doing well. We will. It remains to be seen, Scott. We will have a house divided in a week and a couple of days because opening of the NFL season starts and Green Bay plays your Detroit Lions.
Well, I forgot that they were the opener. Oh my gosh.
Uke. The thing is, it was a perfect opening for a Uecker joke. That's the highest batting average those cleats have ever seen.
Wow.
And you might get a Super Bowl, a World Series matchup too. Detroit, Milwaukee. It's possible.
It's possible.
But you know something though, it's the thing about Uke. He just had fun with it, and this is what Uecker understood. That's why he lived so darn long. He understood his weaknesses, and instead of having an ego about it, he made a career out of it.
Mm-hmm.
He made a career, made an acting career, made a commercial career, made all that stuff. I mean, he was Harry Doyle.
Mm-hmm.
It was just doing a losing team and being drunk while he's doing it. And it's just like, and he was funny, and he made Johnny Carson laugh, which really wasn't that easy to do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like really, the thing about it is us people with the gray hairs, and then how old are you, Chris, by the way?
53.
Well, you're older than me. I'm 47. I just turned 47 on the 24th.
There you go.
So, this is what I'm saying though. All of us gray hairs, if you will, we talk about the announcers where the young people don't understand this thing because all the announcers are now sound robotic and from a school where they're taught what to say, how to say it, get, and stuff, have a cadence, have all this. What we grew up with was Euchre, Harry Kerry, Vince Scully. I mean, who was on Detroit, by the way? Who's the one on Detroit, Scott?
Ernie Harwell.
Ernie Harwell. They were Jack Buck. They were conversations.
Right.
They were conversations to the audience and with the partner in the booth. And it's like, it's just a conversation. Everybody's on eggshells to say anything.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, it's one of those things because they're afraid of a Tom Brenneman deal. And Tom Brenneman was just a slip of the tongue.
Yeah.
They're afraid, and then same with the Chip Kerry. They're afraid to say anything because everybody's so darn. And it's like it's got to get to the point where the producers have got to just say, shut up, he meant nothing. We grow a spine. It's really got to get to that point, or we're never going to get. Because if we ever get back to a point where our producers finally say that, we're going to see those same types again. It's not the eras; it's how you produce things. They allowed Harry Carey to be Harry Carey, Ernie Harwell. They allowed them all because you didn't have a boot on their throat.
Mm-hmm. One last thing.
It was a conversation.
Yes and no. I'll agree. Because there are certain things that they say, like Brenneman went a little bit overboard. He knew, like he didn't know he was on, I guess, or whatever. The guy in, what was it, Oakland? Right? That guy went overboard. He used the N-word. I mean, that's.
But no, what he was. His issue was the fact that it's obvious he did it because he was supposed to say Negro League, and he said that. Right. But that the way he said it, we were talking about this on a show one night. The way he said it showed that he says it before in private, and it was a slip of the tongue and a mistake. He shouldn't have said it. He should never even think of saying it. But if you don't, I was saying this too in our show one night. I said, Negro League. I don't have a slip of the tongue because I don't say that word.
Right.
It's obvious he says the word in private.
Right. Exactly. So he should know better. That's the problem.
Yes.
Right.
But that's the point I'm saying, though, and I understand that. And then there's things that you don't say that should be common sense.
Right.
But we don't have a conversation because people walk on too many eggshells.
Right. Yeah, I agree. Absolutely. Yeah. Some things it's like, all right, come on. The guy is whatever, but I understand.
All right. So what else is going on in your
one last thing. So one last thing. This is a make or break year, I think, for Luke Fickell with the Wisconsin Badgers. He has been there how many years now? Last year was the first year in like 21 years that they did not make a bowl game. I think this is definitely a make or break. He was very successful before. I know that we have a tough schedule and we're in a tough conference. We open up tomorrow night at home versus Miami of Ohio. So,
well, remember this part. He has been successful in the past, but Wisconsin's been doing it right, Candy. They've been doing it right. Is when I say replace coaches, replace managers, replace all those, you know what I've always said? I've always said make sure it's not just a warm body where things can get worse. Make sure it's the right replacement. Well, they're doing that with Wisconsin, and he can go out at a right time to where you can find something. The biggest truth is Illinois, and I wasn't the biggest fan of Bielema being in Illinois because I thought Lovey did everything he could with a pretty crummy school. But Bielema's proved me wrong. He's proved me wrong, but also Lovey got them to a bowl game when they had nothing. So he can coach. It's just they got something better. When you do that, when you get someone better, you get yourself a chance. It's keeping around. But when you get rid of people too early, like a lot of fans want, then you just get crap. You get Mel Tucker.
Okay. So you say Candy make or break here for Luke Fickell. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay, Jacob, what's going on in your town?
Oh, we're going to get Atlanta. The Falcons are going to be an interesting case here because they played third stringers all preseason. All of them. And it's so now Penix is going to have to figure something out with the first stringers, and they have no reps. So that's going to be an interesting situation.
Right.
And as far as my team, Minnesota, Chicago, it's Caleb, so I think Minnesota wins.
Okay. Chris.
Hey, listen, the Yankees swept the Nationals today. Mets swept the Phillies today. So all is good in baseball and in New York. Football, we know it's starting next week. Jets start against Pittsburgh. And today, I just want to give you a quick thing. In the press conference with Aaron Glenn. I love Aaron Glenn. I love the hiring. But, this tough guy attitude, talking with the press is starting to wear a little thin already. Like one of the reporters, Rich Cimini, you guys obviously know him. He asked the question, who's going to start at center? Because there was a battle at center between Tippmann and Josh Myers. Candy knows who Josh Myers is, right? The center from Green Bay. So we brought him in. So there's been a battle. They haven't named a starter yet. So he asked him, who's going to start at center? He goes, a center will. So Cimini goes, okay, which one? He goes, the one I'm going to name that I'm not ready to name yet. Like just being a little bit, not so nice. I get it. Cimini's been around for 30 years, I think, covering the Jets. Have a little bit of respect to the reporters. I know you're trying to come off as this, the Bill Parcells type, from back in the day. But first of all, and again, I love Aaron Glenn. I'm not putting him down. But you know what? You have proven nothing yet. This is your first time as a head coach. Prove yourself first. Then you could be Bill Parcells if you want. Then you could be Mr. Tough Guy. But for now, just answer the question. You could say, listen, it's a tight battle. We didn't name anybody yet, but, we will very soon.
Well, number one, I think I remember him being a head coach with the Chargers for like 1 or 2 years, if my memory serves me correctly.
No, not Aaron Glenn.
Wasn't Aaron Glenn? You sure?
You're thinking of Anthony Lynn. You're thinking of.
Oh, that's right.
That was way worse. Anthony Lynn was terrible.
Anthony Lynn. Okay, thanks for correcting me. Well,
that's okay.
all the more reason why Mr. Glenn here better not alienate the New York media, or they'll run him out of town faster than they can snap their finger.
What if someone answered that like you, Scott? You're a veteran reporter. If someone gave you that kind of who's going to start at center for for Miami? A center. And you're like, who? The guy I named.
Well, number one, I wouldn't ask that type of question anyways.
Right.
Candy will tell you I wouldn't ask that type of question. And the reason why I wouldn't ask that type of question is I'll wait for a couple of people and then I'll hit them with a haymaker of something, and then I have people's heads turning. But that's just me. I'm not one of those types of interviewers that is what you call position specific. I don't question like that.
I got you.
Because especially before you had your first regular season game, that's just my policy. But your point is that you do not go out there and alienate the media when you haven't coached in a regular season game, let alone that one. You don't alienate it because they'll run you out of town real quick. Okay.
Well, the big thing about it is, I think by itself, it's one thing if you're going to, say, Tennessee, and you've got with specific deals. I think Aaron Glenn understands you got to be your personality and what it is. Remember, he was around Dan Campbell. Right. And it was around all that stuff. And maybe Aaron
came up with Parcells. So he knows, right? I know.
Yes.
Listen, he knows he's got to do this.
And maybe it's just the fact that you got to, maybe I think to survive New York media, maybe you have to be what you are, whether you win or lose. Because
I don't know.
Because I'll tell you this, between Atlanta media and Minnesota media, there was Norm Van Brocklin. And he threatened to fight both of them. That crusty old dude threatened to fight both of them. But at the end of his life in 1983, when he died of a heart attack, both cities said, well, he was the guy that took in kids when their parents died. So he was a complicated individual. And this was somebody who threatened to fight, and who did even fight a couple of the reporters. And that was the thing. He did it in Atlanta, and he did it in Minnesota. And it was like, And even with that, they said he was a complicated guy. And it's like, if you're phony, they will throw you off the ledge. If you're a phony nice guy, if you're a phony tough guy, they will throw you off the ledge. So you might as well be what you really are.
Okay. Interesting perspective. All right, let me give you some information on my town, COWNS. I'm going to talk about Detroit a little bit. First of all, the Detroit Free Press and Detroit News are going to end their joint operating agreement at the end of 2025. Just another sad tale of what's going on in the newspaper industry. It really is. They've been doing a joint JOA for a while. It'll end at the end of the year.
Which will go away?
Detroit News and the Detroit Free Press are going to end their joint operating agreement. Now, I don't know if they have investors that will go privately or not, but they've been working together for the last so many years, and the JOA will end at the end of 2025. That's item number one. Item number two is a feel-good story. Let's go to Florida Atlantic. We'll talk about their annual report. This is the 20th consecutive semester that they've had a GPA above 3. That is good to see. Also, $264 million in philanthropic efforts. They've given away $3.3 billion in earned media record. And of course, their GPA is 3.34. You cannot ask for much. This is what student athletics is about. And this is a university in our backyard that's doing some pretty good things. And they've had 6 conference championships and NCAA tournament appearances. So they're doing it on the field in a lot of these sports, and they're doing it. Think about $264 million for philanthropy, giving $3.3 billion.
Which school?
Florida Atlantic.
Well, let me tell you this. Dion's got them at about around 3.2 or 3 as far as their GPAs. And in Florida Atlantic, I love hearing that too. The thing is, this is a much more competitive world. Much more competitive world now. It's like, you better be at the very. This is not just, okay, you're going to go be a mechanic if you can't,
Right.
you can't mix it in school. They're doing things for mechanics now. It's a competitive world. And they're teaching, these coaches are teaching them that now, and I love it.
Yeah, don't sleep on FAU. I'm going to tell you something. This school here was in the Final Four a few years ago under Dusty May. John Jackus is doing a pretty good job. Hope to land a one-on-one before it's all said and done. I haven't met their football coach, although Candy and I will be doing a fair amount of their games in the next several months on top of the University of Miami. So it's just good. The FAU is getting it right on a lot of accounts. But when you think of $264 million just in philanthropy alone says a lot. It really, really does. And then giving another $3.3 billion, and then in earned media records, that's just unbelievable what they're doing over there. Really happy for the Owls and athletic director Brian White. All right, well, now we're going to go to our featured topic of the night, and that's the durability of tennis legend Roger Federer. Roger Federer has played in 1,526 matches and never retired from a single one. This talks about commitment and sportsmanship. Candy, I know how much you love tennis. Roger Federer, to me, is one guy on the tennis circuit I can tell you I wish I met, but he is really proving the modern tennis industry to be what it is. Just an unbelievable player in so many different ways. An Iron Man in his own sense. Candy, take it away.
So he was born in Switzerland. He turned pro back in 1998. He retired September 23rd of 2022. Prize money. He has won over $130 million, third all-time in earnings. His career record in singles was 1,251 to 275, 82%. He has 103 career titles, which gives him second place in the Open era. His highest ranking was number 1 back in 2004. He's won the Australian Open 6 times, the French Open 1 time. He's won Wimbledon 8 times, and the U.S. Open 5 times. Now, those are all his singles. He has also done doubles. He is actually 131 with and 93 losses career record in doubles. He has 8 career titles. The highest ranking in doubles was number 24. But he also has Grand Slam doubles for Australian, French, Wimbledon, and U.S. Open as well. He's done the Olympics. He's done Davis Cup, Hopman Cup. You know, as I think about, like, I used to play tennis, and I loved tennis, and I still do. We've actually had some really good tennis players to watch over the years. If you think about it, that Bjorn Borg,
John McEnroe,
Jimmy
Connors.
Jimmy Connors did well.
Sampras.
Becker.
Becker was my first hero. Yeah.
You know, Andre Agassi. You know, and he married Steffi Graf. Like, that, just what a match made on the tennis court, right? But as I look back at athletes in general, when you look at tennis players, you don't see the thugs of the world, or the problems that you see in some of the other sports. At least I haven't seen it. So, but Roger was always, him and Nadal had so many epic matches. Like, you would just watch that, and it was crazy. He was a record 237 consecutive weeks and number one. Like, can you imagine that? Consecutive. That's a long time.
Well, let me tell you, I met many years ago Bjorn Borg when South Florida hosted tennis events and did an interview with him. He's a nice guy. Of course, everybody knows I have a picture of Jimmy Connors in George's book. Detroit Sports Broadcasters on the air. Jimmy wasn't bad, rough around the edges. He definitely, but my experience for the most part with Jimmy was pretty good. And what can you say? I saw Andre Agassi play in a tennis match over at the Palace of Auburn Hills. That was actually the first event ever held at the Palace, and George Eichhorn and I went to it. And yeah, it was good to see him line up with Steffi Graf, and they're doing pretty well. So tennis has a lot of big names. They really have had a lot of big names. But when you just think of the numbers and what Roger Federer has done on his own, it's just surreal. This guy here, I've never met him, but I hear he's a really nice person. But he plays all the time, and he's an Iron Man. And he not only is he an Iron Man, okay, he wins.
Right. One of the other names that I didn't put out there was Pete Sampras too.
Candy, let's not kid ourselves, okay? Tennis has a great history of a lot of excellent players. They do, and I get it. I really do. So I want to send a special thanks to Peak One Sports, who are obviously reposting the stream on Twitter, X. Thank you so much. Really super.
I still play tennis. I've still played tennis. I'm pretty competitive. I'm not going to say I'm going to beat Sampras or Federer or any of them by a stretch of the imagination. But I'm a pretty competitive player, and I've watched it all my life. My first hero was Boris Becker. Then it was Sampras. I used to play against my dad built our house, so we had really, really strong garage doors. So I played against the garage door. My very first tennis racket was my brother's Connor's metal racket. Flunk, flunk, flunk. I did it 3 hours at a time, sometimes in my jeans. I used to play a lot of tennis in jeans, believe it or not. So it makes it easy in shorts. And I've got all that kind of stuff. And I've had many favorites. My favorites were Federer and Ferrer toward the end of that part. That beat Ferrer. And it was always hilarious to watch Federer and Ferrer go at it, because it was like a construction worker meets a CEO with the way that their styles were. Just like that. It's just like Federer would just move him around and barely walk, and he would go like a bat out of hell. Ferrer would. He'd go like a bat out of hell and still lose. And it just kind of shows, though, where talent lies. And the differences in the type of game. And Ferrer was number 3 in the world. So it says these type of things about this. And then I mean, and I loved, and like I said, I did like McEnroe, and I did like, let's see, Sampras. Todd Martin was pretty cool, but I mean, and then I liked the servers. Goran Ivanisevic. I liked Goran Ivanisevic. I've liked John Isner. I've liked all the different. The biggest thing, though, I'll tell you, the most durable that I could ever see is Martina Navratilova.
Right. Well, believe it or not, now that you mentioned that, I wanted a phone interview with Jimmy Arias. He was a super nice guy.
Yeah.
I actually had it arranged many years ago when I was working for the Hellendale Digest. So, yeah, there are some. Oh, but you know what? My biggest one was years ago was Arthur Ashe. I ended up doing an interview with Arthur Ashe over in Palm Beach County. We talked about how to be well-conditioned, and I spent time with Arthur.
Well, and one of the things, I'll tell you another one, Chris Evert, 90% career winning percentage, 125 straight clay court matches won. That's just ridiculous, and that you know what that is? That's consistency.
Mm-hmm.
If I could, I said this 9 million times over. Camera phones, and we had them back then. I would have loved to have had a photo with Arthur Ashe. Arthur Ashe to me is just sort of unbelievable.
Yeah, that's
why do you think that? Why do you think this guy got everything named after him out in New York with the tennis centers? Arthur Ashe is Arthur Ashe.
Well, Arthur Ashe was class. Arthur Ashe was absolute class.
Yeah,
and he really was. And in truth, he did say things real. He was like, in one case about McEnroe, he would detest McEnroe's attitude. And in the other case, he wishes he could beat him, but he couldn't get away with it. Mm-hmm. But in truth, I like that Arthur Ashe wasn't like that. I like it that way because to me, and I'm just being honest, in any sport, if I just say even fighting or any of that kind of stuff, we think of George Foreman, okay? I think the calmest ones are the most dangerous. They're the ones that are the most dangerous. You don't know what they're thinking. You don't know what if you get the ones that are angry all the time, they're easy to tip over.
All right, so let me ask the panel here. Any final thoughts of Federer?
I'll just give you some stats. Out of the players that have won all 4 Grand Slam titles, Federer is third on the list with 20 total. Rafael Nadal has 22. And the one that has the most Grand Slam titles that have won all 4 is Djokovic with 24. And like you said, consistency, especially now. I've watched tennis. Not a huge fan, but I do watch it. But you could tell, like now, it's speed and power, right? So to be that good for this long, that's really, really impressive. I mean, you just can't do that in any sport, really. And then especially in tennis. I mean, these guys are, just the speed and the power of these guys. It's just amazing. Even the women now, right? Look how Serena was. I mean, she was just unbelievable how much she dominated.
But also, with the women, I get to look at them in the dresses. No, they're awesome though.
The other thing you have to think about when you think about, especially guys tennis, is not only longevity but stamina. Because some of those matches go 5-6 hours.
Yep.
You know, what other sport do they go that long and play that hard for that long?
Yep.
I did that one time. I had
no halftime either, right?
Huh?
There's no halftime in tennis, right?
No. I played with a buddy of mine. He played low level pros and everything. His name is Christoph. He and I played 90 games of tennis in a day, 6 hours 42 minutes. And I'm telling you right now, he was playing soccer the next day, and I was laying in bed. I mean, that was an athlete. I am not in that level, but
that's pretty cool.
All right, you know what? I want to go back on the FAU stats. I wanted to make sure I got complete clarification on it. I know I was going through it pretty quickly, but let me just give you the numbers one more time. 26.4 million in philanthropic giving. They have that the Paradise Club record for the 3rd consecutive year. That's unbelievable. 3.3 billion in earned media. Got that earned media school record for a 3rd consecutive year. 3.34 spring GPA school record for a single semester. It gets better than that. 20 consecutive semesters with a GPA above 3.0. And last, he has 6 conference championships and NCAA tournament appearances. That says a lot.
Do you know? Here's the deal. Do you want to know what's awesome about that, Scott?
What's
You know
that?
what the most awesome is? This is a world of legitimate diversity.
Right.
Everybody, every single time. I mean, it can be. I mean, on any single team, whether it's on football, baseball, any of that stuff, basketball, any of those, you can
Right.
have black, white, Asian, any of those. Different worlds, different cultures, different everything. And he's got every single one of them at the average of a 3.3.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
Which means that, I mean, these are different personalities, which means that they trust him and believe in him.
Yeah.
They listen to him.
Well, let me tell you, Brian White and I are pretty good friends. The athletics director, he's done an unbelievable job with that athletic department. I just wanted to go back on my notes to make sure I got all the numbers correctly. That's why I decided to bring them out there. Go ahead, Candy.
One last thing just to add to you, Scott. If those of you that don't know, FAU Owls football, they only began playing in 2001. So they have not been around for a long history,
Right.
like Michigan or something like that. So to be getting those numbers already, is pretty impressive.
We know
Oh.
who started it too.
Yeah, my father figure, Howard Schnellenberger. Thank you very much.
No, he
Yeah,
got him to a bowl game too.
No, I was at the first two bowl games. They went there. So you talk about the relationship I had with Don Mattingly. Howard Schnellenberger was like a father figure to me as well. So I just wanted to make sure we got that out there. All right, well, let's go to our non-sports topic tonight. Only a few more topics to get to. One of them will be.
I've got an early morning, so I got to get moving soon. But
well, we will. Okay, but let me go through the show so we can get it done. I mean, I don't know when you keep giving me these restrictions, so I want to make sure you get all your opinions. Where do I go then with this thing?
Okay.
I mean, you can't handicap me. This is your show along with me. I'll let you do whatever you want, but you got to let me get these topics in. All right. Well, I'll make this one easy. You don't even have to comment on this one. I'll just put some information on.
That's impossible.
Yeah, well, I'm not on this one. Don't worry. Our non-sports topic of the night: Japan's bullet trains have carried 10 billion passengers in 60 years with zero injuries from train accidents. Started in 1964 and since has expanded to connect major cities across the country. How about that? No, we don't have subways or anything like that. We have a Japan bullet train, people. That has been 10 billion people over 60 years with no injuries. It doesn't get any better than that.
And
all right, Mr. Opinion.
Mr. Fact. No, but the biggest thing I saw with that is that they were once 25 seconds late and gave all their money back to them for that day. They're that efficient.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what I could say though? The reason they get everything done like that is because they don't play it by politics like that there. They don't. It's like right now New York has tried to get a the train, and they just and they're no longer getting federal money because they waste everything. And it's like, and see, both sides are playing politics there. And I'm just going to say this point. I remember the whole thing with the ice rink in New York. You know what I'm talking about, Chris. I know the whole point with the ice rink. This is the only thing I would ever say. Quit doing that with the bullet train idea and just taking the money away and let it be stuff like that. If you're a big builder, prove it and do it yourself and embarrass them. That's all I'm bringing up, because we really do in this country need bullet trains like that. We need that kind of infrastructure.
Well, and Japan's ahead of us on that one. So people.
With the injuries on the train, does that include self-inflicted injuries? Because there's a lot of people that do that here. Like they, unfortunately,
according to my notes here, okay, Chris,
I'm just saying, I don't know.
My facts.
I'm just saying, I don't know.
I'm only giving it to you the way I see it. If they were self-inflicted, it'd be self-inflicted. Let's stay on course with my sources, okay? I have to teach you what that was journalism. Stay on course with my source, okay? And I will read it to you again. That's so, Chris. I got
it.
I stay on course with my source. Don't look for the average New Yorker to hear the facts. Is there this or is there that? No. This is what I have, okay? Japanese bullet trains have carried 10 billion passengers. That's what you need to be thinking. This is at Disney World, Disneyland. This is Japan, okay? In 6 years, zero injuries from train accidents, and they started in 64
From
now
train
they're just-
accidents.
From train.
Right.
Okay. All right. That's fair.
train
Because you know
accident.
what? A big thing, and I'm just going to throw this out. There's a big thing in now, like what these kids are doing is they're jumping on top of the train and they're like surfing.
Ah,
while
come
it's
on.
going.
Seriously? Really? I don't care what
I
you
know.
want,
I'm with
but-
you. That's kind of stupid.
All
I know
right.
there's no Japanese surfers. I know.
Hey, listen, I got
Okay.
a guy here who's got a bedtime, and he's not worried about who's climbing on top of these darn things. All right, so I'm going to make
Trust
it
me,
easy.
I let them go because hey, if you want to do that, go right
We're not
ahead.
going on top of them. Oh,
Natural
my
selection,
God.
right?
I'll tell you one thing. I got a treat for you on Friday night because you're trying to go out there and put kids on top of these bad boys.
I'm just
All
looking
right.
at what's
I
going
got,
on.
I got two topics I got to get Christopher's opinion on. Then he can go night night, okay?
Okay.
Because we want to make sure we respect his early time. And these, I mean, come on, Chris, really, seriously, really, what do you think I'm wearing the head? Because it's
I'm just
I
standing
don't have
flat, like you said.
I don't have Lycorn to kick around tonight, so I need somebody to.
Where'd he go, by the way?
He's on vacation this week.
Uh,
All right, here, you want to get Jacob ticked off. Buffalo Bills fans on social media are criticizing Terry and Kim Pagula for driving around their mega yacht worth $100 million, while local taxpayers are paying at least $850 million for the team's new stadium.
you stole my other thing for the night on that one. I was going to talk about that. Okay, let's bring a little monetary. Let's bring a little monetary
It's
education.
called Great
to these
Minds Think
morons.
Alike, Jacob. You've been around me. Great Minds Think Alike.
Let's bring a little monetary education to these morons. You know what that boat is? That's not $100 million in cash. That's a lease. That's a lease. I promise you, that's a lease. There aren't people buying anything. They don't buy their cars. They lease their cars. Number
Right.
two, guy's worth 800. The guy's worth billions. He has $800 million stadium. That's not $800 million in cash. His billions are in cash. They're in investments, assets. They're in the capital gains. They're in all of those things. The cash is probably 20% tops. And that is an education in monetary things. And I wish more people would understand that. Then they would not complain so much. That you want to know who the last person who built their stadium with their own cash? Joe Robbie.
Remember
And
it
that
all
was
too
in
well.
Miami. He
Yeah.
did that. I don't know. He probably had more cash than he really had, but no one is going to build on their own cash with the way, especially with the way cash stretches now. Like an $800 million stadium, hypothetically, could become $2 billion. People don't keep $2 billion in cash around.
Right.
And it's like, these are the things that these people need to understand. This is why we have so many poor people. And I'm not saying that we don't have a lot of people that's screwed, but we don't have a lot of monetary education either.
What about the rich guy in Japan that we were talking about last week that built a racetrack, right, Scott? You brought that up last week.
Yeah. brought that up last
How much
week.
was that racetrack? Well, what was it, like
100 million, 100-some million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
For nothing, for his wife, right?
oh,
Come on.
wife and kids.
Wife
Really?
and his
Be able to
kid.
race, yes.
It's a little toy.
Come on.
But
Yeah,
those,
What?
but he stole
Yeah,
my
but-
last thing, but I'm glad he did. But I wanted to be able to bring that part up. It's like they all get complaint. They think, okay, he's getting $800 million stadium. He's worth billions. He's got 800. I think he's got $100 million yacht. He paid it all in cash. This is why you're all idiots.
Well,
What's the
only thing I'm
lease
gonna-
payment on that boat? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, no kidding. He'll
I mean,
get
all-
rid of it. The lease payment's about 2 or 3 years. They'll get rid of it and get a new one.
Yeah, the only thing I'm going to say about it, Buffalo should be thankful that they're building a stadium that they can keep the Bills because they didn't want to. I'm sure they would have moved it by now anyhow.
Yep.
So, Candy, go ahead. You got last word, then I got one more topic to get. And on Jacob, you don't have to hang around for the NFL updates. We'll just go through them and then we'll just comment regular on them. Candy, some final thoughts about the Pagulas and their yacht.
You know, they've got money, they can spend it how they want. Like that's their prerogative, you know? And I mean, I don't come in and tell anybody that's any of those Buffalo fans what they can spend their money on. So why should they be telling the owner that what he should be spending his money on? He wants to his investment is in the Buffalo Bills. His yacht is for him to enjoy. Like, he has money, let him use it how he wants to. We were just talking about, I was talking with somebody else earlier today. You're not going to remember what iPhone you had. You're going to remember the things that you did, the places that you went and saw. Like, Scott, you keep talking about how you loved Iceland this year and it was a great trip and that you want to do more of it. So this guy has a yacht so he can go do those kind of things. Why should we be questioning him spending money because he's got a yacht and he can afford it? Go and enjoy, you know.
Bottom line,
those morons that spend that money on the Buffalo Bills fans, the morons that spend the money, they're usually spending it on their lost bets.
Yeah, well, again, we could talk about stadium controversies, who should be spitting the bill and who shouldn't. But I think the Buffalo Bills fans, they can criticize all they want. They should be thankful that they have NFL football in Western New York. Last thing I want to get to before Jason has to sign off, Texas versus OSU, Ohio State. It's the most expensive week one matchup ever. The cheapest ticket, $328. The average fan is going to spend $532 to secure a seat. And get this, nearly 30% has come from Texas Longhorns fans. We all know that they like to travel, and the Longhorns got money to burn when it comes to traveling. Well, this is a heck of a matchup. I'm looking forward to watching it. What are your thoughts about Jacob, the fans spending this kind of money to go to the Horseshoe?
Do what they have to do, but they're going to be watching Matthew McConaughey on national TV do a big Longhorn salute, and then they lose 54-20.
Okay, fair enough. I know that you don't have a lot of sympathy for fans anyway.
But I don't have a lot of sympathy for fans. It's like, no, the biggest thing about it is it's kind of funny to watch McConaughey get all huge. He gets all dressed up in his cowboy hat and gets all that stuff. And every time he does it, they lose. It's kind of like the Bears wearing all blue. It looks awesome. It looks awesome, but they still lose.
Let's not kid yourself. I've known you a long time, Jacob. You have a disdain for fans, don't you?
Big time. Huge.
Exactly. That's why these topics were brought up with you in mind. The Buffalo Bills. I have to think about you, Jacob. You know, I mean,
fans are fanatics, right?
Fans are morons. Fans are morons, Chris.
Come on, Chris. This guy doesn't like fans. Why do you think I got the Buffalo Bills and the Texas Longhorns on because of him?
No fans are morons. You
have a problem with the Bills Mafia jumping and breaking a table?
That's what makes them stupid. They use their head too much.
What's the problem? I don't see a problem. What's the problem?
Well, no, it's because those are the same type of people that they put their head through a table, then they wonder about money, and they're not educated in it.
So there you go, Mr. I Hate Fans, Christner. That's why I bring certain topics on this show, because I know it'll get his goat and we'll get the best opinions out of Christner that we can get.
You'll get the best facts. I better get going, bud.
Well, I know he does. That's why I'm glad you made it for these. All right, Jacob, see you next Wednesday night. Great job tonight. Thank you.
Take care, Jacob.
Oh, I'm telling you, that's why he's a fixture on this show, because
that was great.
I know he's one of those types of people I know how to press the right buttons on. All right, Chris and Candy, some thoughts about the OSU and the amount of money that fans are going to have to pay, and then we'll go into our NFL updates.
You know what? I'm looking at SeatGeek now. It's crazy, the prices. You're talking $300 and something, $400 for the upper deck. I mean, it's insane for a week one matchup that no matter what, if you lose, it's not going to ruin your season. I mean, we seen Ohio State lose to Michigan last year in the final regular season game. Right. And they still went on to win the national championship, right? So losing week one is not going to be, and it's a non-conference game, obviously. So it's not going to, it's a great matchup, right? One versus three.
We're talking about the money that they're paying to do it.
But I'm just saying, I'm not going to spend $300 to sit in the upper deck. I'll sit at home and watch it. It's a week one matchup.
I agree. In fact, you're going to spend any kind of money, you just go to the game and you wait for the scalpers when they have to get rid of them at the very end, and you get them on. Go ahead, Candy.
See, and I might disagree with you guys because this is such a big game, such a big market. Yes, the outcome isn't going to determine the future, or it might. We don't know. But it's such a big marquee game. I get it. They're all – and we're talking – come on. We're not talking FAU Owls. We're talking the Ohio State. You got to put that "the" in front of it. One thing I will say, one of my favorite memories is my dad and I went on what I would say a Big Ten tour, and we got to some of the Big Ten stadiums. The Horseshoe is one of them. Obviously, you have to. Like, you have to go to the Big House. You have to go to the Horseshoe. It's one of those iconic ones in the Big Ten. Is it a great place to watch a game? Well, it sure was when my Badgers beat Ohio State the year that we went. That always helps. But, it's one of those venues that I can see where they're going to get more money for it. Are some people going to want to pay for it? It's not the Super Bowl where you're paying $4,000 or $5,000, but in today's prices, the price of everything has gone up.
Yep.
Everything. You talk about, you used to go to, and I hate to use this analogy, you used to go to fast food and there was more of a dollar menu. Now you barely have a dollar menu. It's a, $5 or whatever. And you go out to dinner. You used to be able to go out $25, $30. Now it's at least $100. So I can see where this seems very expensive, but in the same breath, it's going up just like everything else. And we want to watch these players get paid. Well, they somehow got to find the money to pay these players too, and they got to make up some of that money.
Yep.
So is it out of line? I mean, it's supply and demand.
Yeah.
Supply is, if the demand is there, they're going to get it. If the demand's not there, they're not going to get that kind of money. But people can choose, and like I said, you're going to remember the events and the places you went. You're not going to remember what phone you had. If you had iPhone 12, 13, 14, or whatever, So go, maybe it's a little expensive, go spend the money a little bit. Go to these things, go make memories.
I mean, your last words make the most sense. Make memories. That's good. So I'm glad you had a pretty interesting opinion on this. Me personally, unless I'm covering the game, I'm not going anyways. That's just me. But again, I've been in the business a long time, so I know the way I'll do it.
It'd be a great game. It would be a great game to cover.
I think. You would.
Right?
Yeah, it's the marquee matchup. We'll see but I'm not going. I'll be happy to watch it on TV as well. We have our own big game on Sunday night. The Miami Hurricanes against Notre Dame Fighting Irish, and what figures to be a pretty interesting game. So I'll take that Miami Notre Dame game along, but I have no problem watching our game as well, the Ohio State game.
Let's see what the prices for that one is.
No, let's not. Let's go to some NFL. I mean, you can, but
we can see. Oh yeah. Oh right. Oh yeah.
What?
Half the price.
What for the Miami Notre Dame?
Yeah, you can get it for like 200.
Okay.
Still not cheap. You still got to pay a decent amount. But
I can get in for way less than that. So
yes,
and that's all I'm concerned about. Okay, so looking forward to get back to Hard Rock so that my Canes can do some hard rocking against the Irish. And for whatever it's worth, that Notre Dame is 0-6 all time against Miami Hurricanes down there. 0-3 at the Orange Bowl, 0-3 at Hard Rock. Take that for whatever it's worth. Be looking forward to seeing Carson Beck first time out. So. All right, final topic of the night, more of an update thing. Chris, I know you have your own football show. I'll let you promote that a little bit, but let's go over some NFL updates, the ones that I have in front of me. Number one, the Pittsburgh Steelers released Robert Woods. One less, I'm sure they'll bring in another target. We're in that period where we have a lot more addition and subtraction. The Bengals released quarterback Desmond Ridder. Carolina released former Canes wide receiver Jacoby George. New Orleans Saints released running back Cam Akers. The Cleveland Browns quarterback room consists of Joe Flacco, Dylan Gabriel, and now Shedeur Sanders. The Chargers released of DJ Ugale, who played for Florida State and declared for the draft after finishing his senior citizen. No, not senior citizen. I got a little tongue-tied there. That's probably what I am. But he had 1,085 passing yards, 4 TDs, 6 interceptions, and his season ended early due to surgery on his right throwing hand. So that's what you have. I'm glad that Trey Lance actually made that team. I really, really am. Any thoughts, Chris, on any of these transactions? about who of these people could be coming and going?
Not really. A lot of these guys are, either unproven or guys that are coming back from injuries and probably not fully back. Like Cam Akers, really good when he's healthy, but we know he's missed a lot of games over the last couple of years, so he may not look that great right now. Maybe later on in the season, somebody might pick him up. Like he might get a little healthier. Robert Woods is probably at the end of his career, so he's kind of, I think he was on Tennessee the last year or so. So he's probably at the end of his career. The one I kind of find a little bit amusing is the Browns quarterback situation, right? You got Joe Flacco, and now he's got to babysit two rookies behind him, right? So I think that's kind of funny. He's basically babysitting guys that are like, half his age, more or less. So I'm surprised that they traded Kenny Pickett, because now they got no veteran behind Flacco. Now you're going full in with Flacco at 40 years old, and you got two rookies who, let's be honest, one's a fourth round pick, the other guy's a fifth or 5 and a 6, whatever it was. So, and they weren't that impressive in camp. So that's kind of risky. Are they showing you that they're punting the season by doing this? I don't know. It just seems kind of weird that they're doing it.
No, I don't think so. And I'll tell you why. Because number one, Kenny Pickett was hurt throughout training camp.
Yeah.
If you could go ahead and get a 5th round pick for him and stockpile draft choices, you do it when you have a surplus at quarterback. So I actually think the move was pretty good. Kenny Pickett will be behind Geno Smith out in Vegas. So I actually think it's not a bad move for Cleveland. Yeah, well, anytime you have a surplus at a certain position, you'll have an extra one. You see how the whole thing plays out, and that's exactly what Cleveland did. Sure, Joe Flacco's not the long-term answer, but they must have saw enough in Dylan Gabriel to have him as a second.
Yeah, I guess so. You're right.
QB. And Shedeur Sanders is a work in progress. I'll see how that one plays out. But now, he instead of being 4th on the depth chart, he's 3rd. So it's an interesting situation. Go ahead, Candy.
And they got something for Pickett. Like, I don't know that they would have gotten anything for the other two. So,
probably
you got to go with, if they're all relatively around the same, in as far as accuracy and fitting in and all that, then why wouldn't you keep your rookies so you can maybe develop them, because those might be your future, and the one that you could get the most for now, trade and get what you can now.
Yeah, and as far
in that
as
sense, I do. But the one thing that the only part that I would disagree a little bit is going all in with Flacco, right? Because Flacco is 40, right? I think he's 40 years old. He is 40. He'll be 41. All right, by the end of the year. But here's the thing. He has not played a full season since 2017. That was the last time he played a full season. So now you're asking a guy who's 40 years old or 39, whatever it is, to basically play a full season, or else you're going to have a rookie in there playing quarterback. So listen, I wasn't expecting them to be that good anyway this year, especially in that division. Right. You got, obviously you got Baltimore, Cincinnati, and Pittsburgh ahead of you. I don't see them being any better than any of those 3 teams, no matter who they got quarterbacking. So,
well, you're right, Chris. It'll be really interesting to see how it all plays out.
Yeah.
But you had an injured Kenny Pickett, and as Candy said, if you could get something for him, draft competition, you do it. That's not to say they're not going to pick up another quarterback somewhere along the lines either. True too. Yeah. I mean, that they're fair game to do that right now. This is currently what they have in their pocket, and they must have thought enough of Dylan Gabriel to make him number 2, knowing that maybe he could be a hidden gem. You never know.
Hey, you never
Dylan
know.
Gabriel's key. Shedeur Sanders, I'm not sure about. Dylan Gabriel did some pretty good work up in the Pacific Northwest. So I think it's interesting. I hope Jacoby George lands somewhere, but a lot of these younger players, the thing is even with some of the 1,000 guys that got released, keep in mind the United Football League will have their draft sometime in, I believe, September. And you have the UFL, and you also have the CFL. So some of these guys can land jobs to put them up on, like, you didn't have these other leagues. You've always had Canada, but the UFL is an up-and-coming league, and although we won't talk about that tonight. But no, good points, Ron. Chris, what I want you to do right now is I want you to do something we haven't done before and talk about your football show. I think you have a football show, right? So now you have an opportunity to go ahead and promote that a little bit.
Yeah, well, I do co-host a podcast with my friend Sharman. We do the Liftoff Jets. talk about the Jets and the NFL. But we did start a football show, myself, Rob, and friend TBK, who helped you out with a logo, sent you a
Right.
logo, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, I
Listen,
like
anytime
that,
you need a
actually.
logo, that's the guy to talk to. If you want to upgrade your logos, your videos and stuff like that, he's the guy to check out for sure. But anyway, yeah, our show's going to be on once a week, probably Tuesdays. Just talking about football every week. We're going to probably preview each week, the games, stuff like that. We're going to do picks. We've done two shows so far, just me and TBK. Rob, because of the back, he's, out a couple of weeks. So hopefully we'll see him in a couple of weeks. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's called Flight Club Football. Check us out. We'll be on YouTube.
Yeah, tell him he's welcome to come on our show anytime he wants, especially on Wednesday night, TVK. I thought the logo was pretty cool, actually.
Yeah,
it really
I did
is.
too.
No,
I said
like
you need
that.
it ready on your hat. That would have been better.
Yeah, no, that was
Really,
good.
I'm sorry, not ready.
Yeah,
really.
but let him.
Really.
Yeah, but let him know he's got an open invite to come on Wednesday nights if he wants it at this time.
I will. I'll tell him to get in contact with you.
Great
For
stuff.
sure.
So, well, those are NFL updates. Anything you want to add, Candy, about these particular moves?
Nope.
All right, well then,
Good.
I'll tell you what, Chris. So up ahead, I'll be on Friday night with Chris and Mickey Callaway will be on their show. Why don't you give a little preview of Friday night?
Yeah, Friday night at 10 o'clock, the NYMLB show, NYMLB Talk. It'll be myself and Rob obviously hosting, but Scott will be one of our guests. And of course, Mickey Callaway, the former Met manager. The two of you guys are going to be on with us. I can't wait. It's going to be one of our better shows, I would think. We also got a brand new. I can't wait for you to hear it too. You're gonna love our song now. It's we just did it this week. We did a new song. We did a new intro video. It's gonna come out great, and that's why I'm saying that guy TBK did it for us. I did the song, he did the video, and all that, and it came out great. So I can't wait for you guys to see it. But the show itself, I'm so looking forward. Scott, anytime I get a chance to talk to you, I'll be honest. I'm always in. I love talking to you because you have so much knowledge and so much, you've gone back 40 years with covering sports. So you got stories that nobody knows. So forget about, but that's why I love talking to you. It's great to have you on the show to talk, and then having Mickey Callaway, obviously a former manager, former player.
Okay.
It's going to be a great show. So Friday night, 10 o'clock, you can't miss it. It's going to be probably one of our
Wow,
best shows.
Chris, I'll say this: I enjoy having you on my shows. You're a lot of fun. Anytime I can give you a hard time and joke around with you, and
No,
you
I love
stand
it.
there
I love
and be humble about it, you're the best.
I take it.
So no, I enjoy it. You definitely. You and Rob are two people that I'm really glad are part of our network now, the Southwest Tribune Broadcasting Network. You and Rob are two big welcome additions, as is Steve Rochelle as well. So I enjoy coming on yours. You come on ours, and we make each other stronger and collaborate. You guys are the ultimate partners as well as friends and brothers. So we're glad to have you on. So with that said, why don't you give everybody a list of the lineup of shows? Candy will take us the rest of the way. One of their final station break. So
Okay.
what do you have? What do you have going, Chris?
For me.
chance. Yeah.
Just Friday nights. Right. Friday night is our show coming up with you, the NYMLB Talk Show, and we usually do Mondays. We've been going back on different times, but 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock. So that's usually our other day for that. And like I said, I do my Liftoff at Liftoff Jets podcast. We talk Jets, we talk football. That's a great show too. That's once a week. And the new football show, the Flight Club Football, we just started. We're going to be doing our third show next week. So,
and that's Tuesdays at what time?
I think 7. Yeah,
Okay.
we've been trying to do 7. So
7 Eastern.
yes, 7 Eastern. Yeah.
Okay.
Very good. All right,
So-
Candy.
Lead right into your football show would be great.
Well, I told you, make sure you reach out to the other guy that he has an open invite to come on Wednesday night.
I'm going to tell him that.
Yeah, please do. I look forward to having him on. He could be really great. All right, Candy, station break time.
South Florida Tribune Publishing Company published a book, Lessons from the Microphone, Tuning into the Enduring Wisdom of Visionary Leaders. It is written by our host, Scott, the Motor City Madmouth Morganroth. Talks about his 40-plus years in the industry and how it has evolved and changed. There's a picture of a young Scott with a young Muhammad Ali in there, and there's a picture of a young Scott with a young Tommy Lasorda. So go get this book. You love to hear his stories on air? Go get it. The book, he has more stories in there. It's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kindle, Google, and Apple Books. There's also a link on our website, www.southfloridatribune.com, where there is a plethora of great content. If you see that red subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner, it means you haven't subscribed to us yet. Honestly, I don't know what you're waiting for. So just do it now. Share it with all your friends, family, and click that notification button so you get notified whenever we put up any new video or when our shows go live. We have some amazing videos out there. Obviously, we played a little clip of Scott making music on the ship when he was relaxed, but there's more up there. There's tour guides from Amsterdam up there with Scott interviewing them, and Scott doing his own recollection of where we were on some of the places when we were on our trip. There's also him with Don Mattingly. There's him with Bob Ryan. And yes, some of the videos are long. I know, like Bob Ryan's was 2 hours long. You don't have to watch it all at once. Watch part of it, go back to it. He has some great information, some great insights, some great stories Bob was telling. So go check out that website or the YouTube channel. If you want to advertise or sponsor any of our shows, call Scott 954-304-4941. And if you want to be a guest or have topic ideas, you can always email us at southfloridatribune@gmail.com. And then our Twitter handle is @TribuneSouth. Scott, back to you.
Thank you, Candy. Chris, that's awesome. Always doing an awesome job. So, programming note, tomorrow night, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, No Limits returns. I'll be interviewing local actress Rachel Galvin. She'll talk about some of the celebrities she's met, and I'll throw a couple in there. And we'll do a little bit of, and I'll be talking a little about General Hospital. Many, many years ago when I was in college, I used to watch that show, and one of their main characters recently passed away. I'm going to address that as well. We do like to do things outside of sports when the situation presents itself. Tomorrow night at 8 o'clock before Fire Up, the situation does present itself. So hope you can join us at 8 o'clock here on the South Florida Tribune YouTube channel. So meanwhile, what a good show, a really great show. I enjoyed 4 people tonight. Worked out well. We were spread out all over the place. We got to have Jacob go off on so many different ways, which makes him a permanent part of this show. And watching you and Jacob, Chris, interact the way you guys did, it was really fun to watch. So I like to see, you may have less people, but the chemistry is really, really good amongst the group. And I always like to try different situations, like a hockey coach over the lines. And I thought we did well with the 4 of us tonight. So great job tonight, Chris. We have a date in about 48 hours. I believe that's on Wednesday night. Mickey and I will be on with Rob and Chris. So on behalf of Jacob, Chris, Candy Ebeling, Chris, and myself, Scott the Motor City Madmouth, we want to thank you for joining us in this edition of the Sports Exchange. We will see you next Wednesday night. Have a great weekend, everybody, and happy Labor Day weekend, I should say, everybody. And we will talk to you another time. Good night now.
Good night.